Hello there, Four School friends. I really like things that spin, and so I wanted to share how to make this little wooden spinning toy. Something that you could try at home if you're interested. They're really fun. You see here what these look like. They're pretty simple. And you take something like this and spin it right like that. And now, these toys, they're called lots of things. Tops or dreidels, or even about a few years ago there were these toys called Beyblades that were really popular with kids. It's the same concept, something that spins. And so to make this, you're going to need a little bit of help from your parents and some tools. The tools you need are a saw, a drill, and a knife for carving. So if you can get your hands on those three tools and a parent to help, you can make a little spinner like this, and I'll show you. The first step, you're going to cut a tree cookie like we've done at Forest School, just using a bow saw and a log that's, about this size, just a couple inches in diameter. I'll show you over here. You can use different kinds of wood, but I like to use pine because we have a lot of extra pine branches around, so I'm using a spruce branch. And you're going to come in about a ½ inch like that, and you're just going to saw just like you would saw a little tree cookie. And there you have your tree cookie. And the next step is going to be to drill your hole through the center of the tree cookie. I'm going to use one of our trusty hand drills, but you could also use a power drill if you have one to make it easier and quicker. So really you're just going to come and drill a hole just like that. And the size of the drill bit doesn't matter too much. That's just going to determine what size of stick that you need to put through the center hole. The next thing you want to do is find a stick that is just a little bit wider than the hole that you've drilled. So I'm going to use a pine branch over here. Found a branch that looks like a pretty good size, and you just break it off. You want to keep it kind of long at first, and then you can cut it down. But that's about, still a little thicker than the hole, which is good because you're going to actually carve it and put it through and make a point, which we'll do next. So next you're going to carve your stick that's going to go through that hole. So I've got my carving knife. You want your knees to one side, carving to the other side, always with the blade going away from your body. And you're going to carve off that bark. You want to make sure not to carve off too much so the stick doesn't get too thin. And any knots that are on there, you're going to carve off like that too. Try to get it kind of even. And then start to see how it's going to fit. And so that fits in. You want it to be fitting pretty tight. And that looks pretty good. So the next step, I'm going to get it through a little bit more, just push it through that hole. Your next step is going to be to take that end coming out and make it a point. You want it to kind of look like the end of a pencil that's sharpened. So we're going to carve a point here, just like that. And things don't have to be perfectly straight. The one that I made was not perfectly straight, and it still spins really well. So don't worry too much about how straight things are. It should still work. So I've got a nice little point there. Now one way you can decorate your spinner that I think is really cool is to make concentric circles. So you're just going to pick a color and go around the smallest circle first. So I've got this blue paint pen, needs a little more ink. And you color a circle like that. And when you do this, these concentric circles that are different colors, it makes a really cool effect while it's spinning. But of course, you can decorate it however you want. You could turn it into a flower or a face or a mushroom or anything. I just like to do these circles because I think it looks really cool. So that's kind of the idea. So yeah, that's how you make a nice little, whoa, that wasn't very good, wooden spinner like this. So yeah, hope you could try that at home, and see you next time.